So this video will go over the performance element, which requires you to understand the civil foundations of the legal environment of business to demonstrate knowledge of contracts. And the first performance indicator in this performance element is identify the basic torts relating to business enterprises. So a tort is basically a private or civil wrong against an individual or organization. And the three main types of torts are an intentional, negligence, and strict liability tort. So the first tort is an intentional tort, which is one for which the defendant either intended the injury or act inflicted on another individual or organization. The second type is a negligence tort, and so intent is not required for this tort, only carelessness. The third type is a strict liability tort, and this exists even though the defendant was not negligent. And in strict liability, proof of both the activity and the injury substitutes for proof of violation of duty. The second performance indicator, and the last one in this performance element, is to describe the nature of legally binding contracts. So, a legally binding contract is a clear outline of an agreement between two or more parties. A legally binding contract is valid and enforceable in a court of law, and it usually defines the parties in each side of an agreement and their terms, the duration of the contract, the payment terms, and the provisions protecting each party in the contract. And legally binding contracts must be carried out through consideration and not coercion, meaning that each party must be willfully and willingly taking part in the contract and not being coerced into it or forced into it. Also, legally binding contracts do not have to be written. So that's the end of this performance element.